Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Females need you just to trick me, trick me, trick me, trick me.
Hi, if you are seeing this, it means my book, Everything Was Here But You, is out now. This book touches on love, loss, grief, and the weird feeling that something is missing when you're building your beautiful, big, accomplished dream life. Check it out now. I'm sure you will find something in this book that you can relate to, and I hope it feels like a huge hug. You can get it now on Amazon and barnesandnoble.com. It's not every day you get to talk to a girl boss. Hey, Ashley, how are you today?
Hey, Rylan, I'm so good. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Here we are. Like, it's Monday. We needed each other's energy. It's so crazy because, like, I said before I started recording, guys, I told her I was like, I need like another girl who gets being in the industry and gets like how hard it is. And like, it's cool to have a mirror almost. Like, I feel like that's what this episode's going to be. I can listen to
Yeah,
you having a crappy day.
absolutely. And we're going to talk after this too. So just know that we're locked in forever
Locked
after.
in. We're locked in. No Rylan refunds. You're so sorry. Um, so I guess like my first question for you is, do you have days where you're like, what the heck am I doing? Who am I? And who are you? First of all, let's introduce you to my guest. But if you want to tie that in, like, do you have that mindset sometimes? Like, why am I doing this? What the hell?
Yeah, it's so interesting. And I'm so glad you asked that question. I had a morning like that this morning, as a matter of fact. So let me take it a step back. So, who am I? I'm Ashley Varnado. I am a seasoned wealth management executive. I guess some could say I got it out of the mud, is what the younger generation would say. But came from a very humble beginning in Mississippi, very proud Mississippi girl. Knew I wanted to do corporate, didn't know how. I'm a first generation corporate executive. And I worked my tail off. I, all through college, knew coming from an HBCU, again, which I'm very proud of, Jackson State University, there weren't a bunch of corporate or companies coming into my campus to interview. So I knew I had to go out there and make sure that I had the right experience in place and that I could be very marketable. And I did that. I left home for the first time, going to San Francisco, California. Imagine a Mississippi girl in San Francisco, California. It was quite interesting, quite the culture shock, but I loved it. Worked for a company that I still love to this day. And then in the preceding summers, certainly took great opportunities that led me to my previous employer, and it was absolutely phenomenal. 20 wonderful years. And just recently, my friend, I made the decision to step away. Now, there were certainly some juicy things in the middle of that
She has
that
the
led
tea.
to,
She doesn't want to drop it, I'm sure, but yeah.
led to that. But I am a relentless believer in all things girl empowerment. I am a wife, a mom of two crazy little boys who I love dearly. They're my gray hair that you see here.
What
But
the-
most, yeah, I am, most importantly, I am just one who believes in empowering the next generation. And you can do this too, right? And so, to answer your question, yes, there are days where I wake up and say, who am I outside of this corporate identity that I've worked so hard to establish? Becoming the youngest African American female managing director at my firm at the time, did that in 15 years. Who am I? And it took me some time, Rylan, to really figure that out. I think I know who I am, at least 90% now, but it is evolving every day. And that's the fun part of life. You get to change the story every day, however you want to. And so I hope that is a good shout out to folks who are trying to figure it out. Listen, you have your entire life to learn. You can become a lifelong learner and you have the power to evolve. You don't have to be the same person tomorrow that you were yesterday. Try new things, take the leap. So, yes, there are mornings like that, but I relish them and I kind of let them fester so that I can leave the day knowing at least the next piece of direction that I want to take.
I love that. And I love something you just said. It's like rewrite the story. And like that's something that really upsets me about a lot of individuals. It's like, oh, I came from a horrible background. My life sucks. It's sad. It's like you have the power to create the dream life you want. You can change your career. You can change the way you view yourself. You can change your relationship status. Everything in life is temporary. It's only permanent if you make it permanent. So I think
Love
that's
that.
so bad. I know, like we're eating, we're both authors, so it's going to be a badass conversation. But it's like, I think that's what something you just said. It's like, yeah, it's scary to walk away from comfort, but usually the things that are scary are the ones that are going to change your life. And I just think you're incredible for that.
Thank you, Rylan. Thank you. It's been interesting thus far. I just finished a few conversations that we'll get into later in our discussion here, but it's ever evolving, but it is fun. There is no fun in doing the same thing the same way for 50 years. And I think that's what's new about our generation. We're like, yeah, I came up in corporate, but now I want to go do this, or now I want to go do that, where a lot of our parents and grandparents stayed in the same roles, etc. And that is respectable. There is a place for that. I have so much respect for that, but I just think life is meant to live. You don't have to do it the same way every day for the next 50 years. You wake up at age 80 and you're wondering, where the heck did my life go? And I just did not want that to be my story. I did not want that to be my story.
No, and then your boys, like, they admire you. They're looking up to you. And if you're staying in a job you don't love for the rest of your life, you're almost in prison. And why are you going to be in a job that you hate? Like, that's what the heck? We get one life. You should have a job you love, a job that impacts people and fulfills your heart and your purpose. And then knowing like you can make income from that. Because I think that's something people shy away from. Like, oh, I can't fulfill what I want to do because I'm not going to make the most money. Well, be really good at what you want to do, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's it. And luckily, I was really good at what I did, and I did love my job. But there were certain things personally that led me to know that I was meant to do more and impact the world in a much different way. And so, this is my effort to make sure that I'm following that call, that urge. Who knows? I may end up back in corporate in some shape or form. But if I didn't take the chance on myself, I would have never known. Again, I would have been there in my nursing home, right? That my kids, I'm sure, will put me in, and wondering, well, I probably should have written a book and I probably could have stepped away when I had my youth. And this is certainly something that's going to be a chapter in one of the upcoming books, too, The Leap. That should be the next title, The Leap. I love it.
Write it down. Write it down. You heard it here first on my podcast. Take Care of Your Body by Riot. The next title of her book. I'm ready. We can release it. We'll have you back on and we'll do a whole episode about it. So,
Oh,
do you want to talk about being an author and what that transition has been like? And maybe rewriting the story. I mean, is that hard for you to have to sit with it? Because I feel like when you write about something, it's like, oh my God, it's real, you know?
yeah, yeah. This for me has been really enlightening. It's really given me a chance to go back to my roots. So I'm writing my story to hopefully encourage those who may not come from extremely privileged backgrounds, to encourage them that they can, in fact, bust through those glass ceilings. So this piece of it has been very comforting to me. It's helped me get back to the center of myself, remember all of the wonderful things that make me who we are. It goes back to your original question. Do you wake up some days wondering who you are? I just go back to the writing, right? Because it helps to center me in ways that I think I had not been centered before. Now, it is very different in that I come from a very programmatic background. And so there are systems in place that do all the things, right, that I'm attempting to do solo as an entrepreneur and as an author at this point. But it has been really the best pieces of my day where I can just go back and remind myself of all the pieces that make Ashley and the pieces that motivated Ashley to do all these really incredible things, which, by the way, Rylan, I had no idea I would even do. We'll talk about that too. But it has been very comforting for me. So that part of it has certainly been interesting. But I will tell you, navigating the business has been one that is nothing like what I've experienced in corporate, and making sure that I'm pitching all the right ways and saying all the right things. That piece of it has been eye opening and has been a learning experience. I may write a book about that too, actually.
You should honestly, and then you can help so many others. And I think again, like you said, we're all lifelong learners, and no one knows everything. And I think honestly, the purpose of life is to learn from one another and just do everything with love and take what we know and pass it on to the next person. And I think that's what you're gonna do with this podcast episode. But it's so true. It's like if you forget who you are, just really go back and look at another time of your life and be like, wow, this made me me, and this made me me. And if you're an author, you get to reread your own words, which is so cool. You're like, oh my God, like I wrote this, so now it's kind of true about myself. But really, like, be, connected to who you are and who you were. And then you're like, I went through all of this, I survived myself, a little title back to my first book. But it's like, you know what I mean? It's like you survived yourself, you survived all of that. Whatever comes next, you got that. It's easy.
Yeah, no, so true. So, so, so true. Yeah, I've really enjoyed the writing process. It's been the business side of it that's been interesting, but I love being able to just remind myself of who the hell I am, right? I came from great stock, and that those pieces help to fuel me to know that, listen, this is a new chapter in your life, but you have the opportunity, just like you knocked down corporate America and you did that well, you can figure out how to do this too. So it encourages me a lot.
When you say corporate, I just keep going, ew.
It's not that bad. It afforded me a beautiful life, a beautiful, beautiful life. One where I had to set boundaries. I'll have to be honest with you, but it was not a terrible. I listen. I am who I am because of that corporate experience, and so maybe hey, that could be a new chapter for you one day, Rylan. If you decide to jump in, you got your girl here who will help guide you through.
I know, but it's like, again, it's really cool how everything we've ever been through in life shapes us to who we are. And like, while maybe you had to step away from that world, you being a part of it taught you and brought you to who you are today. And I think that's amazing. I mean, I guess I have a question about that. It's like, was that draining for you? Were you tired? And did you like try and not let that spill into your family when you got home from work?
Oh my gosh. I would decompress every single day before I walked into the house or before I picked up my kids from who had to keep them after school because I was working late. I would have this ritual where I would listen to some gospel music and some rap music. Don't judge me, but I would have a playlist where, again, I had to get all that aggression out so that when I got to them, I was able to program myself to be mom and wife, right? It did spill over into my life. And again, that was my own fault by not setting the right boundaries. Because when you want to be good at something, or if you really, really care about something, it never leaves you. It's just like being an author, right? In the middle of the night, you're thinking of things to say or things that you need to write down. It was that same way with my career. I wanted to be the very best for the organization. I wanted to be the very best for my clients. And so at times I would wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning and jot things down of emails I have to send, etc. And it did start to spill over to the point where it was clear to me that I had to make some changes. And I'm so glad that I did. My boys even told me this morning, Mom, it's so cool like having you come to these random band concerts. It's so cool that now you can pick us up from school and we don't have to be the latchkey kids, like wondering where our mom is, like zooming in after the rest of the kids had gone home. And so there are times and moments in life where you have to make some decisions, some pivots. And for my family, this was the right one, where again I could be solely focused on them at this stage in life. And certainly make sure that I'm creating healthy humans and I could stay married. That was really important to me. I wanted to stay married. And so we are staying married. As of today, we are still married. And I'm really excited about that.
Woo! That's really, no, that's really exciting. And that's really beautiful because I mean, we see all these women who do it all and they're badass and they're in their careers. And then you're like, where the heck are their kids? And they're in the daycare or grandma's watching them. And that's just like, like, yeah, it's amazing to make money, but at what cost? At the cost of your kids, having to sit in a therapy office saying, yeah, my mom was absent. You know what I mean? And I think that's really incredible that you decided, like, yeah, this career is amazing and it's important to me, but my family's more important. And I think that will show a lot of people like you can really create your dream life and have both worlds combined in whatever way. And like setting boundaries is so important in anything, but especially in a career, because again, you shouldn't be tired. You shouldn't be over functioning. You shouldn't be going home and missing your family and missing whatever your kids are up to and not being able to pick them up from school. Again, I think balance is key. And I think you're a great example of that.
Well, it's integration. I'll tell you the changing moment for me. And there is a chapter in my book called A Summer Called 2025, and the change for me is we lost my mother-in-law pretty abruptly without any warning. Craziest situation. She was fairly young, 61 years old. We're getting ready to sell the house. She was going to keep the kids for us this summer. And she just all of a sudden transitioned. I will never forget, Rylan. I was there. We rushed to Mississippi, which is where we're from, to be there with her. We got there just in time before she transitioned. And I remember knowing I had to board a plane like within a couple of days. Of course, in the middle of all the planning, right, for services, et cetera, you're there, you're in the moment, you're trying to grieve. But I had to leave my husband, my grieving husband, who's an only child, and
No.
my children behind to be in a place where I should have made the decision right then and made the call right then. Again, no one forced me to do that, but there is that overdrive, overachiever, where you have to be there and be all things for everybody. And When my son asked me when I was a kid, they dropped me off at the airport. I'll never forget it. He said, "Are you really leaving right now?" Yeah, mic drop moment. And I stopped and paused and my husband is trying to keep himself together, right?
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, mommy's leaving, but I'll be right back. And he kind of gave me this look like,
Full side
do you see
eye.
what's happening around you? And getting on the plane that day, I was like, something's got to shake. Something's got to change. And so that said, that was the start of me really knowing that I needed to really be present for all the reasons. And it is possible, right, to have the right level of integration, but with the right boundaries, right? And certainly with the right infrastructure in place. And for me, it was rededicating myself to my family. And I'm glad I did it. It was one of the best decisions I could have ever made.
I love that. And I think like another thing you kind of just touched on briefly in that is like it sucks when you lose someone and then you're expected to show up in your career as well. It's like, oh, like I'm heartbroken, I'm grieving, I'm sad, and now I have to go be this badass like businesswoman. And it's like, how do I do both things? And I love that you like really took the time on that plane to reflect on your life and realize like this can't keep going on like this because it's one death and then what's going to be the next thing and then you're going to feel even worse. And it's like you're risking all of that for what?
Yeah, life is meant to live, and it's meant to live with the ones that you love. And without sounding too Pollyannish, right? You only have one shot at this. What kept ringing through my mind, and we'll get through some of the other discussions, the other events that led to my taking this, or solidifying the fact that I needed to take this radical sabbatical. What rang through my mind is when I pass away, my children will obviously be well taken care of financially, but what will they remember? Right? What will they remember? Will they need to be in therapy because mom was always on a call and had to miss the baseball games and was multitasking? Or will they say, my mom was there at everything? That's what I remember about my parents, that they didn't have a whole lot of money, but they had a whole lot of love and they poured into us and they were there.
That's what's
And
more
that is like,
important.
yes, it's so much more important. So, yes, life is meant to be lived. You only get one shot at this. And by the time you get to the end of whatever your life would look like, you don't want to have regrets that you didn't pour into the people who, in fact, be more than your 3 day mourners. Those people will carry you for the rest of their lives. And so, yes, yes, and yes.
I mean, I don't think the people at the meeting or whatever you were going to on that plane was telling you they're sorry for your loss. I mean, they care, but it's like to what extent? You know what I mean? They're not going to make you some baked goods and casserole, like
Just don't give up fried chicken and pound cake when you're grieving. It's the best formula for Southern girls: pound cake and fried chicken.
I need to actually go visit Mississippi. It's so funny. That was the only state I remember being able to like memorize in school because of the ICPPI or whatever. Like I'll never forget. Oh my God.
Oh, you should come with me one day. We're gonna set it up. We'll come hang out.
Girls trip, now it's happening. I need to read your book too. Like I'm obsessed. Like you are just so elegant and well spoken and just like wholesome. I know already this conversation will help so many, like truly, because a lot of people I think feel stuck and they feel like they're supposed to live life a certain way because again, we're all told growing up money, 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 marry rich, marry well, find the best career even if you're not happy. And I think you're really breaking down that narrative because it doesn't have to be that way.
And the book goes even further, right? I had the epiphany. We are taught, just like you said, Rylan, to work, work, work. You'll enjoy the fruits of your labor at the end of your career, right? You wait until you're 65. And then at the end of your life, you get a chance to do all the things that you've been saving for. We save for retirement. We save to buy homes. We put money in our 401ks. We save for our favorite outfits or our designer bags. Why can't we save to take these radical sabbaticals? Why do we have to wait until the end of our lives to enjoy the spoils of our labor? Why not be intentional about putting money back, just like we do for our favorite everything else, our favorite concerts, etc.? Put money back so that we can take this year off. You see people do it all the time, like right after college, right? They'll go and do the European tours, etc. But when they get back, they are having to plan for the homes, the marriages, the careers that they're going to sit in until they get their golden watch after 50 years. Where what I'm proposing is really radical. Why not at the height really take a step back and make sure this is what you want? You may end up back wherever you were, or you may end up on a beach in Jamaica selling oranges. whatever makes you happy, at least you create the space and room for you to be able to listen to yourself, center yourself. And again, people can do this and plan for this without the stress of having to worry about what's going to be the next job. Some sabbaticals are self inflicted. You may get let go from a job or you get too ill. What I'm proposing is no, be intentional. Know that at a certain point you want to take a sabbatical and start planning for that now. It's a radical way of thinking, but this entire experience has changed my life. So I'm talking about that in the book as well and how to plan for that financially and otherwise.
I love that. I again, like I just think that that really is going to help so many because we're forced to work. Hustle culture is so real, and it's like you're right. Why are we going to wait till the end of our life when our bodies are probably tired? We don't even want to check off our bucket list. We should be checking everything off every day. Like life is big and beautiful for a reason. It's meant to be lived and not sit behind a desk for the rest of your life. Absolutely not.
And the weekend is not enough. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like that's not enough. You get 2 weeks off from work. That's not enough, right? They even offer sabbaticals at some companies. They'll give you 6 to 8 weeks off. You're still plugged in. Like that's not enough. I'm saying you're really intentional. Let's make sure you have time to really center yourself. Make sure you are where you want to be in life. And if not, have the courage to pivot and do it scared, like me.
Do it scared. She was scared, guys. She did it anyways. So what's your gonna? We're calling you out right now.
Yeah.
Calling you out. How do you know when it's time to pivot, though, Ashley? Like, do we all have one of those plain moments where it's like, absolutely not. I can't live my life this way.
I think your body tells you. For me, my body absolutely told me, right? So I want to be very clear that while this pivot was an idea, it became a reality after a really huge health scare and medical event. But I think we intuitively know when it's time to move on from relationships, from friend groups. You know when it no longer fits. It becomes so uncomfortable. My dad would call it a squeeze, right? Where nothing you do fits. Nothing you do feels right. You just cannot get comfortable in whatever that thing is. We get scared though, because again, that thing could be making us a boatload of money. That thing could be our livelihood. It could be the only relationship that we know, our only friend groups that we know. And because of that, we're paralyzed by fear. And although we're uncomfortable in those settings, we tend to just take it on the chin. And, this is all I know. So this is all I'm going to do. But you have to, though, listen to yourself and you have to have the courage to say, listen, this doesn't feel right anymore. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to do something different. For me, it was cutting my hair. I'm going to cut my hair because this no longer fits. And I tried everything else, Rylan, except for the sabbatical until when I did it and finally made the call, I had a level of peace. I didn't know what was going to happen the next day. I didn't know how I was going to get to write this book, but I knew that I was in alignment with what my body and my mind was telling me. And so it's usually on started by a bit of discomfort. You're uncomfortable, and there is nothing that can make you comfortable in that situation. That is your sign that it may be time to explore other things and then get in alignment with what your mind and your body and your heart is telling you.
I love that so much. And I love something that you just said. It's like you felt your feelings. I think a lot of people, and unfortunately, I attract a lot of these people and I need them away from me. They avoid their feelings and they don't want to sit with uncomfortable things. It's like, oh, I'm going to remove, I'm going to block, I'm going to, resign and just never feel that. But it's like, if you don't face what's making you scared and making you uncomfortable, it's going to show up in other situations, in other relationships until you have to solve the problem. And I think you need to feel your feelings. You need to say, yes, this is scary. I need to leave, but I'm going to do it the proper way. And I think that's amazing because you know what? You're not just going to like ghost a job. You're going to walk away, like properly communicate. Communication is key. So I think you saying that is truly so real. It's like, you're grieving a life. You're grieving a life you once knew. And, you're right. Like maybe it's the only relationship, the only job we've ever had, the only friend group we've ever had. But still, I mean, it's making space for something more aligned and more beautiful to come into your life. And you have to let it go sometimes to find that.
I love that. I love that. It's all about alignment. And who you were yesterday is not who you're going to be 10 years from now, or 5 years from now, or even the next month. Again, if we're talking about lifelong learners, you're continuing to evolve, you're continuing to grow. And so it's 100% being comfortable with change. That's where I had to get really comfortable. I have been doing the same thing forever and ever and ever. I knew things inside out. I could do it with my eyes closed. I was afraid of the discomfort of change. But that is what life is meant to be. It is an ever changing television series, right? With multiple episodes where you get to determine, again, how you want to live and how you want to be remembered and what your legacy is going to be. And so it's really getting comfortable with this concept of change, which, whether we like it or not, it's always going to be there. You're always going to have to deal with changes. So you may as well dig in, roll up your sleeves, and ride the wave.
No, it's so true. And I think, like, sometimes the waves are going to hit you in the face, but you still need to face them. And then the smoother tide will come along and you'll be just fine.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
I love that. Who were you at your peak versus who are you now?
Oh, that's a great question. Oh, let's see. How much time do we have? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm going to make this.
It'll be a 2-hour podcast when everyone's.
I know. At my peak, I was someone who moved very fast, very determined. I would say that I had the same level of agility that you see me exercising right now. That is something I picked up most certainly in my corporate career. I wasn't very present though. I was present for the moment for what I had to be present for. After that, I was moving on to the next thing. I didn't give myself time to absorb anything. It was do it right now, get it done, and then on to the next five things. Whereas now, I think I'm a bit more thoughtful. Same with the same level of agility, but I think I'm a bit more present, a lot more present, more thoughtful. I'm thinking before I speak. I'm taking time to digest whatever is in front of me. I have firm boundaries. I can't even tell you, just last week, I had to be in Miami for an amazing speaking event. And I had to be the one to say, oh, yeah, I got to tell you all about it. We'll have to talk about it. But I had an opportunity to be a keynote at an event called Glitz and Glam. It was an awards ceremony where they honor the top 100 women for all the things. And I was in this room of just amazing women. But in preparation for that, one of the things that I would say were characteristics that I am now, I'm really intentional. So I want to make sure that I am pouring the right way, giving the right words to encourage someone. And I was pulled on to do another event, and I had to set some really firm boundaries and saying, guys, no, and unapologetically, no, that's the end of it, right? I have to be present. I have to be my very best in this moment. And that requires for me to have quietness, right, around me so that I can be who I need to be in that moment, whether that's the next day or the next couple of days. And so I am very intentional, have very firm boundaries. I don't apologize for them. If I'm with my son at his baseball practice, I'm there with my son. If I'm with my son or my other son doing something different, I'm with them. I am not the mom that's multitasking. I'm filming all of the practice so that I can give some good critique on the back end. But again, still with the same level of agility, still with the same level of smarts, I would say, and still making sure that I'm keeping my mind working in all the right ways. But it is a really cool thing to be more present. My friends have even commented on it. They were like, I remember a time we would be sitting here talking and you'd be answering emails and saying, hold on, I got to pick up the phone. My sons say the same thing. And now they're like, you're here, you're present. You heard every single word that I said, and then you can respond to the question that I asked you. And so it's really important that we show up that way for people in our lives. And I know without this radical sabbatical, I would not have been able to have such an emphasis on being intentional and present for the people that I love and those around me.
I love that so much. I always wonder, like, how are people doing multiple things at once? Like, how are you actually watching your kid's baseball game and replying to emails and on the phone? Like, humans are meant to multitask, but we're also meant to be intentional and give our focus to one thing at a time. And it's like, if you're with your family, you got to turn the business mode off and get back to that later. So I guess that leads me to my question. I mean, maybe there's some working moms out there right now, or just some girl bosses. Do you have any tips on how to turn that side of things off when you're with your family and you're with your loved ones and you want to be more intentional? Maybe even the youngsters who are all on their phones. I mean, I'm the same way. I'm like, oh, someone liked my post, got a comment, got a reply, the podcast post just got posted, whatever. And then it's like, oh crap, I'm also at family dinner. Like, how do you set boundaries with that?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Listen, I'm going to talk to the boss babes first, right? Like yourself, because you are such a bossy babe. I love this. Um, it is really hard to turn off the overachiever in yourself, and to give yourself space to just be. It is really, really hard because you want to be your best for every single thing you touch, whether it's your business, whether it's being mom at the time, you want to cook the best dinner, whether it's being a great partner, whether it's being a good friend. You want to be able to do all those things. And there is a level of guilt that comes with not being able to do all those things well, only giving 10% to all those things. One of the best things that I decided to do was to turn my phone off. Turn it off. It is so hard to turn that phone off, girl, because we're glued to them. I remember the days when we used to have to like print out the Google Maps and figure out where we were going. I may be dating myself, or the old-fashioned maps where you literally had to like read a map and figure out where you're going. We're so addicted to the phones, and that's the culture that we live in. That's, we have to acclimate to that. Again, going back to being a lifelong learner. But if you want to make sure that you can be in the moment, turn the phone off. There is nothing that is that important that they cannot reach your spouse, that they cannot reach your partner, that someone cannot get to you. I would sleep with my phone right beside me. I'm not even joking, just in case an email came through. And all throughout the night, I'd be like, falling back asleep. Crap was so unhealthy. It was the worst thing ever. And it probably led to my series or my medical event that happened because I was not sleeping properly. Give yourself the power, just like you had the power to go in and dominate the corporate space or dominate the entrepreneurial space or dominate whatever it is that you do very well. Give yourself the space to and empower yourself to be able to turn the phone off. You are a boss already. You do not have any points to prove. Being the first one on email and the last one to close out the group chat is not a badge of honor. You have to close the phone down and rest your mind. Allow yourself to be present with your families, your friends, etc. Because people will remember how you made them feel. You're there physically, but if you're there not there emotionally and mentally, people can tell. Even our children can tell when we're checked out. Remember that you are creating memories for someone else, whether it's your friend, whether it's a family member, whether it's your children, your partner, whoever. Don't be a bad memory for them. Turn the phone off and be present. That's how I did it. Just turn the phone off. I'll talk to them tomorrow. The deal will go through tomorrow. It's not going to happen at 12 a.m. Anyway, I will answer this email tomorrow morning.
I love that. I think the sleep specialist probably listening will be much more happier with the you'll talk to them tomorrow and not you're emailing people at 12 in the morning. don't come for her, guys. She's
don't come for me, please, please.
But it's so true. Be a core memory. I love Inside Out for that reason. It's like be a core memory for someone, not something that again they have to go sit in therapy and talk. Oh, my friend is all on her computer when we're at lunch because she's working on her business. Like hell yeah, that's amazing. Like find friends that are supportive, but also be a supportive friend.
That's right. It's so important. It's so important. And I understood the value so much in 2025 and definitely in 2026 of supportive friends. We haven't had a chance to get to this yet, but one of the things that also led to my radical sabbatical was this really huge medical scare that I had. Where again, I was not sleeping. We've already established that. I was going a million miles per hour with all of the nonprofit work that I do and just crushing it in the corporate space. I wasn't listening to my body. And as a result, I had a series of strokes in the middle of the night. Woke up, no joke, Rylan. I could not feel my left arm. I wasn't laying on that side. So I was like, there's something going on here. Get him to go to the bathroom. And I was like, oh, I just need a glass of water. This is just stress. This is, it's fine. It'll be fine. I'll shake back. My entire left side of my body went numb. I had to get rushed to the freestanding emergency room across the street from my house. And shout out to Atrium Health. They saved my life. There's so much more to unpack that story. But I say that to say it was those friends, those supportive friends who helped me through that situation. I had to go to physical therapy, the full nine. I had to really learn who I was all over again. And it's because had deposited so many good seeds into those friends that they could be there for me. But there were a lot of friends that had to tell me, listen, I'm glad that you're sitting still now because I lost, my job or I lost this and you were there, but you weren't there with me. Right. And in that moment, I had to apologize and really be there for them, right? And apologize for what I had missed in their lives because I was so busy doing all the other things that I thought made me amazing. And really, all I had to be in that moment was a good friend. And so, yeah, it is really important to be a good memory, a good core memory for people because they don't forget it. They don't forget how you make them feel.
Yeah. And even if that friendship or situation ends, they'll always remember how you showed up for them no matter what. And I think that's really important to close the laptop, shut the phone off, turn things down, and get back to it later and be there for your loved one, your friend, whoever it might be. Because again, you want them to be there for you, you got to be there for them. It goes both ways.
That's right. I agree.
And that is so beyond scary that you went through that medically. I think that really goes back to, if you don't pick a day to rest, your body will pick one for you. And if you stop taking care of yourself, your body will literally be like, girl, take care of me, please. I'm breaking, I'm shutting down. Do you want to talk a little bit more about the emotional side of that and what it was like to probably not be able to do work, not be able to reply to emails, not really be able to show up in a way that I think you've been trained your entire life? How did you really say, I need to take care of my body? Bye, Ryan. No, I'm kidding. But I need to take care of my body. What do I do? How do I, really focus on myself when my brain probably is like work, 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 work?
Yeah, no, listen, it was one of the scariest moments of my life. I had gone through childbirth, which in my mind was super scary. And I did that twice. But I had also been through a number of series of events. But when my body finally stopped and was like, we're not going any further until you rest, I it was a fight between my mental and my physical, because my mind was still going, okay, Ashley, you can do this. You can figure it out, right? I'm the problem solver. You can figure it out. And my body was like, nope, you're not ready yet. And so, yeah, as I mentioned, I had a series of strokes. I So much so I went to the emergency room. They immediately recognized what was happening, took me back. There weren't any beds available in the neighboring hospital. And so I heard the clock ticking in the room. It was the loudest clock I could ever remember, right? I don't even think clocks tick that loud. I think it's on purpose in hospitals, if I can be honest with you. And in that moment, I made the decision that I was going to be intentional about life. I um, Still mental versus physical fight happening within my body. Knew that my son had a football playoff game that night. My sons and my husband had already been pretty traumatized because we had lost my mother-in-law, unfortunately, in a hospital pretty abruptly. And I was determined to not have them come visit me in a hospital. My husband was there, of course, but I was like, I don't want my sons waking up out of their sleep knowing they got to visit mom in a hospital. I literally, Rylan, I kid you not, checked myself out of the hospital that morning, like 2 hours later. I was like, I'm starting to feel better. Doctor, don't call me. I'll call you if I'm starting to feel worse. I'm going to go home
Really
because I
showing
got to.
up.
Oh my gosh. I was like, I got to get my kids ready. And then my son has a big football game. I've missed 5 of them because I've been traveling for work. I'm not going to miss this one. So the doctor was like, please don't sign out, because if you die, there is nothing, you cannot sue us. There is nothing you can do. I was like, I'm fine. Don't call me. I'll call you. Right. I get home. I sleep for about 30 minutes. I get my sons up. My husband is looking at me like I got horns growing out of my head. Right. I get my sons up. I get them off. Ryland, at 11 o'clock, the numbness comes back. And I'm like, oh, this is happening again. I call one of my great friends. Shout out to Lorraine Felder. I call one of my great friends and I was like, I think this thing is happening. I don't want to die alone in my house. I got to get to a hospital. She was like, get up right now. Of course, the finance guru. I'm like, I'm not paying for an ambulance. I'm going to drive myself to the doctor. Oh, crazy. I could have hurt a lot of people. I'm being honest. Like, I should not have been driving, because what if something had happened in that drive, right? But I was like, I'm going to save money. I'm going to drive myself to the hospital. Okay, I did that. And they were like, you're crazy. How are you even walking right now? Get back here. We got to get you on meds. And that entire time, I kept thinking, oh my gosh, if this all comes to an end right now, who's going to do my makeup? Like, I don't know if, like, who's going to take care of my children? Girl questions. I'm being honest right now. I'm being very vulnerable. Girl questions. And then the most important question for me was like, you know what? I did not rest properly. I'm going to have to now relearn how to walk. And when my body was telling me that that headache was more than just a headache, or that blurry vision was more than just that, I should have done more than pop a Tylenol or a Motrin. Like, I probably should have gotten to a hospital right then. And even when I did, I should have advocated for myself more, because the doctors sometimes would tell me, oh, you're fine. It's just stress. Go home. You'll be fine. Don't eat this, and this. And I should have said, no, it's still hurting. Like, no, I need to advocate for myself. And so it was making sure that I listen to my body. And I encourage every person, woman, man, child, elder, if you feel like something is wrong, go, go to the doctor. Do not allow yourself to sit there and and not take care of your body. You only get one. Now, if you're wealthy, you can augment and you can do all the things to your body and make yourself look like the way you want to look. But you only get one body, so you got to take care of it because I don't want anybody to end up like me, where again you had to relearn really how to walk. I just got back in heels like in January of this year, and I'm so excited about it. But Rylan, at my age, I should not even be talking about getting back in heels and having to go to physical therapy. And so, yes, it is an everyday struggle to make sure that I'm taking care of myself and I'm slowing down because it's very easy for us to just want to run at our own pace. But your body will tell you, hey, girl, time to slow this down. Time to watch some TV or turn the TV off or turn your phone off and sleep. You have to honor that because if you don't, to your point, Rylan, your body will slow down on you. And that's the case that you don't want because then you got to pay a lot of doctors to get back to normal. Okay. So
And while we love our doctors, you don't want to see them for that reason. You'll see them in the hallway or whatever. When
that's right. That's right. That's
thank you
right.
for doing what you do. Not thank you for saving my life. Let's not manifest that one. But
Let's not date every week. How about that? Like I will see you when I want to see you and when I
exactly.
need to see you. I don't need to see you every week.
I'll see you on Grey's Anatomy when I'm resting and watching TV.
That's right.
Some dramatic medical show, but that is no, and like again, you can replace your career. Work will be there. You need to make sure you are okay because there's no other you out there. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't show up for school, work, family, anything else. And I think that goes to the point of see a doctor before it's too late.
It's so important. And again, only you know your body. Don't let anybody talk you out of the fact that you feel something's wrong, right? You know what your body feels like, what it's supposed to feel like. You are the only one who's been with your body for a certain number of years. In my mind, I'm still 25, although I'm a few years older than that.
Only
But
25, so don't.
thank you. See, you're good for my ego. We gotta hang out more because you're gorgeous too.
Mhm.
But you really have to make sure that you're in tune with what you're supposed to feel like. And if it doesn't feel that way, go see someone because it's your body sending you all the signals that something may not be right. And you don't want to be the one waking up in the middle of the night, walking out, or having to get rolled out to see what's going on with your body. My body literally said, girl, that is enough. Miss Ma'am, you better stop before we stop on you. And I'm glad I listened because now I can be back to normal.
And you're doing this podcast with me, so here we are.
So grateful.
I'm so happy you're here. I mean, it's incredible. Honestly, like I have this question for you, and what would 20-year-old you say to you right now? Like, what do you think she would say if she looked at your life and looked at everything you overcame?
She would say, it's not a race. It's not a race. Yes, you are determined and you're ambitious, but take your time and slow down and smell the roses because there are going to be times where you wish you remembered some of these experiences. And because you were always on to the next thing, you won't remember them. Rylan, my wedding day, I have very little memory of my wedding day. You hear brides talk about that, but it's a real thing because I was always so, okay, I got to be on top of this, and this, and everything has to be right. When really I had to go and create an anniversary party at our 10-year anniversary because I didn't even remember. I saw the pictures, but I couldn't remember because I was so checked out and in go mode. So I would tell myself, like, stop, smell the roses, take all the experiences. There is no rush or linear path to success. You define what success looks like for you. And don't look to your left or right of what people are doing. You're charting your own path, your own journey. One day somebody's going to read about you. And guess what? You want to show them that it's not linear and that they have the opportunity to create this whiteboard of what their journey will look like. So I would tell myself to slow down, girl. Slow down. You're going to get all the things that you want in due time. There's no rush, but slow down and certainly take it all in because one day we're going to all be old if we live to those ripe ages, which I've already told myself at age 75, I'm going to be acting like I'm 45.
Really?
So because I've worked my entire life. So now I get a chance to make up for all of this. But you don't want to live in regret and not be able to think on those beautiful memories that you created just because you weren't there in the moment. So I would say slow down, take your time, take it all in. Everything will happen the way it's supposed to in its own time.
I love that so much. I mean, now going back to maybe women in their early 20s, what do you want to tell them about money and finances? Because going back to what I said earlier, everyone is obsessed with income and being rich and making millions. And something that you just pointed out is like, while we have some people who are only obsessed with their wedding day and don't have anything going on for them career wise, we have people who are obsessed with their career and don't pay attention to their wedding day. So we have to have that balance.
Yeah. I would say, and this is my wealth executive coming out, right? Um, there is something happening right now, and people have been talking about it for the last, I think, 5 years, but it's called the Great Wealth Transfer. It is for the first time, women are going to own at least or have control over at least half of $100 trillion in assets that are now being passed down from parents. They're inheriting it from parents who are transitioning and or spouses. Women typically live longer than men. I know you already know a lot of facts about that. And so we are set to be in control of all these assets. I would say to the folks in their young 20s or women in their young 20s, start investing now. It is very scary to go out and buy stock and wait for it to do what it's supposed to do. But the tools that I set up when I was in my early 20s and mid 20s, et cetera, is what's sustaining me right now. It's not all about the latest designer bags, all those things, and wearing your wealth. The smartest person in the room, a lot of times, is investing. It doesn't necessarily have to be the stock market. There are so many wealth management tools that you can use to make sure that you're setting up a cushion for yourself just in case. Hey, let's just keep it real. You don't get a chance to get married or you don't marry wealthy. Those are all realities for all of us right now. Or your partner decides that they no longer want the relationship. You want to start building foundations right now, brick by brick, piece by piece, so that you can create the life that you need and you can start to plan for that radical sabbatical that I'm going to be writing about in my book, Out of the Yazoo Clay. And so that said, I would say, don't get all caught up in what you see in the influencer culture of I gotta have this, I gotta have that, etc. Yes, treat yourself, but also treat yourself well so that your financial health, right, will sustain way beyond your youth. And so I'm happy to talk to anyone who's interested about just some of those tools that I use that quite literally, Rylan, are holding me up right now, right? I, had decided to walk away, made some really great investments early on, and that is what is floating us right now. I'm so grateful for those things. Had I not done that, then I probably would have been worried about what's the next opportunity going to be. Now I'm getting back in corporate, girl. I'm not done yet. This is just a quick halftime. But I would say to those women, don't spend all of your bonuses on trips, all those things. Every dime you get, don't go buy the nice shoes. I know they're tempting. And yes, treat yourself at least once a quarter. Put some of that money back and watch it grow so that when you need it, it'll be there. And it has to be more than just an emergency day fund. It is going to become your radical sabbatical fund that you'll look forward to when years come.
I love that. And I love that everyone listening is going to be happy because you just said, go get your little sweet treat, go get your Starbucks, go get your coffee, but save money too.
Save money too. It matters. It matters.
Are you a coffee girl? Do you like
I
coffee?
am, I am such a coffee girl. I'm a Starbucks girl. I cannot make my own coffee. But I
I
am
think
like,
it doesn't hit. Like, I don't know why.
I thought it was just me.
No, I'm like, it might be a dopamine thing, but I'm like, I'm not happy drinking this.
No, I need that cup. Starbucks, you know what? This proves that Starbucks has done an incredible job marketing. Like, pay those marketers, Starbucks, because in my mind, it is not the same unless I have it in that cup. And for some reason, they make it 10 times better than me. But yes, I am a cinnamon dolce latte girl from Starbucks every morning of venti.
I'm a venti girl too. And I think like when they write a cute little message on the cup too, like that's wholesome. It's perfect. I mean, come on. What's
My
that?
day feels so much better when I get to go see my friends at my neighborhood Starbucks. They all know me by name, unfortunately.
Me too. No, me too. It's like they'll write things about my book on the cup. I'm like, oh my God. But like it's just so wholesome to have community like that and like getting your name out there and just like again, like I think that's something you're so well at. It's like treating everyone the way you want to be treated and like we're all friends because we are like we're not really all strangers. We all are probably dealing with the same struggles, same life issues. And if we open our mouths and talk instead of talking at each other, you could help someone in that Starbucks line. I could help someone in that Starbucks line. But if we stay quiet and we just, oh, have a nice day, grab your coffee, it's like you never know.
We need community now, Rylan, more than ever. And the power of creating community and being vulnerable and being open is something that I think is missing a bit. We do it, but surface. We do it on social media, right? You'll have influencers who invite us into their worlds. Do a day in the life with me, right? But are they really creating community for us? Do we really know what some of their struggles are, et cetera? And are they really helping folks, right? And there are some who do it very well, and there are some not so well, right? But it is up to us to make sure that we are the model citizens that we strive to be and that we want others to be for us. I'm huge on community in all aspects, extremely philanthropic, probably to a fault. My husband just told me no more gifts this year. And I was like, I got 5 more gifts that I want to give to people, just nonprofits doing incredible work. It is important for us to create community and be the community for everyone. Again, we're creating core memories for people. And so that smile, that encouraging word, the note on the cup at Starbucks, that's creating a core memory for someone. And we have to make sure that we are reciprocating that. While people pour into us, we have to pour back into others as well. And so, yes, I absolutely believe that. I wouldn't have been able to get through the last year without community. And the goal is not to be no new friends. I know that was the mantra for a long time. No, I'm absolutely open to new friends as long as they align to where I am right now. And even if we can't be friends, right, I still want to be that encourager for folks to know that they can do all things that they set their minds to.
Sometimes loving people from a distance. I mean, I think it's like, don't judge my path if you're not wearing the same shoes, but I'm still going to root for you while you're on yours. You know what I mean? Like maybe they can't be on the finish line with you, but you can send them love from afar and wish them well. I mean, you know.
There's a place for everyone in our lives. We just have to determine what that place is and be able to structure it appropriately. There is room for us to create community for literally everyone. Everyone's not going to have a seat at the table. Hey, some people may not even be able to be in the kitchen. Some people have to be in the backyard, right? That's just the reality of the world that we live
On a leash, tied to a
on
tree.
a leash.
That's not
On a leash. But hey, you still have an opportunity to impact that person's life. And so, yes, you just decide who gets a front row versus those who may not necessarily have the VIP tickets.
exactly. All right, to wrap this up, I want to do a fun rapid fire questions. Are you
Ooh, I
ready?
love these.
Let's do it. Money or time?
Time all day long.
Love that. Peace or success?
Peace all day long.
With like 4 exclamation points after.
Dot, dot, dot.
Risk or security?
I'm believing in taking risks these days. So I'm going to live on the wild side and say risk.
I love that. Title or freedom?
Freedom all day long.
Hustle or alignment?
Alignment. You are speaking my language, Rylan.
Save or invest? I know your answer.
I'm going to say invest. I
Knew
would
it.
say
I knew it. First big purchase you would recommend?
every girl needs to buy herself a nice designer bag. Good. We'll marry you.
There we go. One word for your next chapter?
Bold.
Love that. What is something you thought would make you happy but didn't?
I thought titles would make me happy,
I love
but
that.
they don't make me happy at all.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Where can we find you? Where can we read your book? Like, girl, I'm obsessed with you.
I'm obsessed with you. Oh my gosh.
Stop. I'm going to be DMing you on Instagram after we're done with this now.
Oh, I cannot wait. We're locked in. I knew it. I'm an energy person, and I can tell the right energy up front. And so you just embody such girl power, boss girl energy, and this has been such a pleasure. And so, yes, you're stuck with me, Rylan, in case you didn't know.
It's okay. You're stuck with me. No Rylan refunds.
You can always find me on Instagram at the Ashley Exchange, or at my website. It's www.theashleyexchange, two E's on the V, so TheAshleyExchange.com. And I'm on LinkedIn. You can take the girl out of corporate, but you can't take the corporate out of the girl. So I still hang out there pretty regularly. I'm Ashley D. Varnado, Varnad as in Delta O, on LinkedIn. So any of those three places, please connect with me. I'd love to hear your stories. And the book Out of the Yazoo Clay will be released later this year. It is a labor of love. We have so many good things coming up as a result of that. And we're already thinking about the next book, which is called Halftime, which talks about how to plan for a sabbatical and how to make sure you have all your ducks in a row. And so exciting projects, and I cannot wait to share them with the world and with you, my friend Rylan. I'm so happy we met today.
I'm so happy we met today, and I can't wait to read your book. I'm obsessed with you. I need a signed copy. I will be getting the next one. I'll be getting the third and the fourth. I mean, you're incredible. You really defined turning your pain into passion.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been a labor of love, but a necessary lesson. And so I hope I can help somebody else be able to do that too.
Exactly.